Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to be using the Your Next die. This is the mini spinner slider die. I got this from the boutique, and of course I'll put the link down for the Facebook group and the .com. And I'm going to be using my Cuddle Bug. And bear with me because I'm always in the videos trying to figure out which is going to be the best way to position this so you can see what I'm doing. But basically the pieces we're using are the squiggly shapes for the spinner, and this with the two round circles is actually going to cut out 4 pieces, 2 small and then the 2 larger circles, and this is going to be what creates the mechanism to allow the card to slide / spin. Okay, and you're going to cut it out twice. And really, if I thought about it, because of the fact that I want to use some fun foam, I probably should have cut it 3 times. So the center part would have been a little bit more substantial. But we'll explore that as we go. So what I was showing right there is I attached my pattern paper to my card piece. And I'm trying to go through the 2 layers. So I wanted to, make sure I had enough pressure there so that way it would cut through. And then with this piece we're going to put the fun foam, okay? And the fun foam is going to be just an even way to give a little bit of a lift to allow for the spinner part to actually spin once we attach it to our card piece. So I made little marks with my pencil, and I lined up the same die and ran it across the fun foam. And then we're gonna kind of start to put everything together. I realized in putting our front panel on top that I needed to cut down some of the foam. And I had watched a video on, I want to say, Your Next Stamps and Dies. They have their a YouTube channel as well, and on their channel they talked about how to use this particular die set. And the young lady who was doing it, she suggested that on the foam, the fun foam, that you cut around it so that way the spinner card is kind of, that's hard to explain, but you're going to see in a second. Once I start to hook up the mechanisms, it's too thick for it to slide, and my mechanism part is actually going to break apart, which is a whole nother issue. So I'm just really here, I'm figuring out, do I have enough space, is this going to work, and do I like the colors with my base. So to put this together, I'm going to grab my art glitter glue, and I'm attaching the 2 of the large circles together and the other 2 together. So that's going to be, one connects to your focal piece and one is going to be on the other side of the spinner, which allows for it to move and slide through the channels that's been created. And then the smaller pieces, you're going to put all 4 together in one stack. The key here is to be patient. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes that can be a struggle. Wanting to do the video and trying to go as fast as I could so that you guys aren't sitting here forever watching this, I moved too soon and the glue wasn't dry, and that's where I made my mistake and why I had to go back and try and figure out how to fix this mechanism. So I'm trying to let it dry here. I'm also figuring out what I want it to do as far as our sentiment on the front. I have a small circle die that I cut out. It's one of my stitch dies, I believe, out of cardstock, the craft cardstock. So I put that on there and I'm like, I love it. I'm going to go with that for my sentiment. And now I'm trying to test this to make sure that everything's gonna fit. I put a little bit of glue on the smaller circle, and I'm gonna attach the bigger circle to it. It probably wouldn't have been bad if I had just waited, let it dry, fully dry, but I wanted to test it because, of course, you want to see if it's going to spin. I mean, it makes total sense, right? You got to see if it's going to work. Well, hindsight being 2020, I have foam dots or foam circles that would have been perfect. One probably would have done the deal. It would have worked, it would have slid, it had enough thickness, but I don't think about it until the very end of the video when I do the sentiment. You'll see in a second. So right here, I grab my Crop-A-Doll and I'm trying to cut out foam pieces, thinking that if I attach foam pieces in between, it'll give me a little bit more dimension and it will slide and operate correctly. Wow. Did I mention I was impatient and wasn't willing to wait for it to dry? Yeah. So we wind up scrapping that, but you'll see here in a second. It always works that way. See the little bits of crumbs in my hand? That's from where I was impatient yet again. So I decided, see where it's been cut out? This is what I mean. The part around where the die cut, you'll want to make sure it's cleared enough for the round circle of the mechanism can slide back and forth without interference from the fun foam. You don't need as much as far as your thickness in the center for the smaller circles if you cut away from the foam. Lesson learned. Alright, so now we're going to finish putting the card together. While that's drying on the side, I got a little glass block on top of it. I'm just folding my A2 side card in half and making sure everything is smoothed out. And this is the part where I grab the foam squares. Well, they're not squares because they're round. And I'm like, okay, I like how it lifts up. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I just use one of those and make it be the mechanism? It would have been perfect. It's got adhesive on both sides. Done. Alright, so now at this point, you saw me just testing it right there, making sure everything was working good, which it was. So I'm taking my ATG gun and I'm taping up the back. Okay, making sure to make sure no glue gets on the inside part, and everything is working good. Now, once I laid this on top of the card base, I realized on the top left I had to adjust it a little bit, so that's what I was doing. And then I'm going to put the Gone Fishing up at the top, take the foam backings off, and just add that. And I think this will make a really cute Father's Day card, and it's fun. The dog goes all the way around upside down. It's so cute. Okay, super simple and not so bad as far as time-wise when it comes to the spinner card. But I think these could be a lot of fun, and the more you use it, the more comfortable you'll get, and you can figure out ways that'll work best for you. If the two little small circles don't work, find something else that'll do the same job, you know what I mean? Back in the day, as she said in her video, the one that I watched to learn how to do it, she said we used pennies. So there was all kind of ways, you know, people thought of to make these cards spin. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to hit the links down in the more area for the links to the boutique and the .com for these guys, and hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And I will see you guys with our next video, which will be this Friday for our Sketch Friday series. And click on a video at the end if you want to see any more of our technique videos. Thanks, and have a great day.